Well, happy Tuesday, Central Coast. I'm meteorologist Vivian Rennie, and I want to dive right into our forecast because it's been a beautiful one, a little bit cooler than what we've been seeing recently. Great conditions right now out in San Luis Obispo, but I do want to point out this large-scale area of cloud cover that's a little bit farther out of our area. So this is actually a storm that we're watching because we do still have those scattered thunderstorms that are far away from us, not in our Central Coast communities, but this one is actually from a storm that's so far away. It's about 125 miles away over Lake Isabella, but you can see just how far that is extending up into the atmosphere. Where is that storm? What's it doing? It is actually all the way out there, continuing to cause a couple of concerns for portions of those interiors and the Sierras. Actually, it's this storm that we're keeping a close eye on with those images, but there's lots of storms to do with this system, and that's actually the same system we saw starting on Friday, lasting all the way through the weekend into Monday and Tuesday. Lots of alerts issued with these as well, things we don't typically see on the West Coast. Thankfully, none of them are here on the Central Coast. We had a couple close calls over the last few days, but they're still staying farther into the Sierras. They are a little bit problematic and a little troublesome, so I'm keeping an eye on that, including some severe weather associated with that. Got a couple of severe thunderstorm warnings far away from us, including these as well as one near Las Vegas. Significant areas of the possibilities of flooding. This is a pretty significant shift, especially from that heat wave that we saw just a couple of days ago into the middle of last week. So big changes have been afoot, but this kind of area of scattered storm activity is expected today, slowly starting to calm down tomorrow. Then we're going to be seeing calmer conditions all across the Central Coast and all across the West Coast in the next few days. But I want to take a live look outside here on the Central Coast now that we've covered those storms that are a little bit farther afield. Great conditions out there in Pismo, kind of zoomed in. You can see the cars out there on the beach. It's been a pretty great couple of days. Waves are set to start increasing slightly with some tropical activity farther away from us, but things are looking honestly really great all across the Central Coast. 89 up in Paso Robles, 78 in San Luis Obispo, 75 in Santa Maria, 88 in San Ynez, 73 degrees in Santa Barbara for your daily highs today. Right around what we saw yesterday after we saw that little bit of a cool down from those extreme heat conditions we've seen recently. Not too bad. Honestly, today was a pretty good day. Those cooler temperatures brought in by more fog. If you're up early, you definitely saw fog today. That's going to be the case over the next few days as well. Thankfully, not going to be a huge issue all across the region. Winds are a bit of an issue across the region, quite gusty for pretty much all of our communities. 22 miles an hour right now up in Paso Robles, 19 in San Luis Obispo and Santa Maria. And this onshore direction bringing in that cooler, dense marine air. That's why we've been a little bit cooler the last few days. That's why we're going to continue that for tomorrow. Over the next couple of days, we still have this onshore area of some concerns with the jet stream. Not a huge issue, still a couple scattered showers in the mountains over the next few days. Not here though, will be nice and clear. We do have this a little bit of activity up in the North Pacific. That's not going to be impacting us too much, but it will be bringing us a few extra areas of some wave energy in the next couple of days. 91 tomorrow up in Paso Robles, 76 in San Luis Obispo, 74 in Santa Maria, 75 for Lompoc, 76 in Santa Barbara. Honestly, right around normal for this time of the year. Not a huge concern for any of our communities. Now we'll stay relatively comfortable, but for the holiday weekend, we're going to warm right back up. Triple digits once again possible in the Paso Robles area, mid-80s in San Luis Obispo. We'll cool down slightly for next week, but honestly, for Labor Day weekend, it's going to be a little bit of a warm one, but still sunny and wonderful all across the Central Coast.